trend of using the word smart packaging, it is a combination of both active packaging and intelligent packaging systems. So when we talk about smart packaging systems, again, I'll come back to this, why I have used a different word or the definition stating that smart packaging is a combination of intelligent packaging as well as active packaging systems, right? So we'll move further. Now, we have discussed this in the previous class that the world population is increasing, the higher life expectancy and increased disease burdens, cost especially, is increasing among the developing nations primarily, but it is equally important in the developed nations. Now, there will be several changes in the coming years. Maybe by 2030, you can see that the artificial intelligence will take over several of the concepts. They override the existing concepts by 2030 or maybe by 2030 and beyond. You can expect that there will be several things. Already we have seen in several movies and in some of the commercial advertisements that the drones are trying to be used for delivery systems. And this is only a glimpse of this particular technology, but there are several things in pipeline. Self-driving cars, which is a concept which is already being floated across in several advertisements. So there are several changes, and so such changes are also expected to bring changes in packaging industry. Now, when we say that they are going to bring changes in the packaging industry, we mean that we are actually talking about the use of this artificial intelligence or novel technologies in smart agriculture and animal husbandry. So if that is related to the production, then the end user side, the use of smartphones for detecting the food quality by using the novel quick response codes or the QR codes, and also for analyzing the color changes in the freshness indicators. So we are trying to look at that aspect. So if this is the technology that is going to be in 2030, by the time you flourish in your career, this will be a common practice. So you should learn about these fundamental things now in a greater detail. So we have taken care of this, the introduction of intelligent packaging systems in a greater detail in this course. Now, just to brief the United Nations Development Goals, there are several. As I said, 17 different goals are there. But you see, one of the important goal, Sustainable Development Goal number 2 and goal number 11, they are actually directly related to the concepts what we are talking. Achieving zero hunger by enhancing the food security and nutritional security, thereby promoting sustainable agriculture, right? So this has direct relevance to reduce the food waste. So food waste reduction means enhancing the shelf life of food or using technologies that are promoting sustainable agriculture. So the packaging comes into picture there also. So we have a direct link there. And we have another goal, Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which says that the entire world or the countries and their governments should focus on building up cities and human settlements which are safe, resilient and sustainable. And this is the concept why you have been hearing about the promotion of smart cities in the country by the current government, because we are the member of the United Nations, and whatever the UN has taken a decision, because we have agreed it there, so we are trying to implement it, and that's the reason the promotion of smart cities is coming in this country too. When we talk about smart cities, we talk about several things, including the connectivity, internet connectivity, the use of artificial intelligence, the use of smart devices, etc. So the packaging has a role even here. Now, one of the big buzzword, which is of most sought out, is the circular economy. Now, when we use the word circular economy, it in a nutshell specifies that reduction in the wastage and the process or the product should end up in one or the other form of recycling. So any raw materials, they are converted into different products, and through the distribution channels, they end up with the consumers for consumption, and then they are disposed. Now, the way they are disposed and collected, or the way they are segregated and recycled with minimum or zero waste, is what referring to, or is what which is referred to as circular economy, right? So the entire world is now talking about circular economy. Let us take an example of the Tetra Pak goals. So when we say, I'm just taking this example to give you an idea of what exactly is the circular economy with regard to the packaging, and I'm not promoting Tetra Pak here, just taking it as an example. Now you see, make smart material choices. That is one of their goal. So use of renewable or recyclable materials. Renewable means more and more materials which can be grown on the world, I mean on the Earth's crust. So not those materials which are to be depleting or which are getting exhausted in the coming years. So we want to keep our planet safe for the future generations. So that is the reason why this particular goal. Now you see, extend the life of your product and package. So less food waste. Again, connecting back with the sustainable development goal. So circular economy is to reduce the shelf life. I mean, reduce the food waste, extend the shelf life. Communicate your values. So this is the biggest challenge with any company is to segregate the waste from the municipal solid waste. So one of the big challenge is to easily collect the used cartons, used packages of any product from the consumer. So the company is putting more efforts on this so that they can think of this particular goal, collection. Once the consumer uses and disposes the pack, the company is now focusing on this so that they can reduce the packaging waste. Now, this cannot be done by the company alone. So they are networking with several people who have similar interests or who can share their responsibilities. And also energy efficiency. So the company is trying to look at if the usage of systems where they can conserve energy or reduce energy usage. So if you look at this particular goal, it says that it should promote, right? One of the goal is to promote a sustainable agriculture. So the climate resilient practices have to be followed, and so the company is focusing on these aspects also. Now, why I'm trying to discuss more in detail is, now these are the things that you are supposed to understand at the end of this course. What are the concepts that are currently being taught or talked across the packaging industry? Now let us move further. We have discussed about the functions of food packaging. If you have not discussed about the functions of food packaging in the previous, I mean, you can just recall the functions of food packaging from your UG classes. One of the important function is containment, right? The first and foremost one, where it helps in carrying your package, the products from one place to other place. And it is only just as a carrier, like a simple paper pouch, what a retailer gives you by putting couple of things so that you carry it, or a paper, carry bag of about 40 microns or 50 microns, the thin one. So that is a containment function. But when we talk about packaging, we talk the function of packaging in terms of protection. Protection from sunlight, protection from microorganisms, protection from water vapor, and protection from air or oxygen. Any food material if you want to extend the shelf life, it has to be protected from these four fundamental factors: water vapor, air or oxygen, sunlight, and microorganisms. If you can take care of all these four by any means, and especially through packaging means, then you are actually extending the shelf life to a greater extent. Right? Now, this is related to the product. But if you are talking about the functions of packaging for secondary packaging or distribution and for the retail or the other kind of distribution channels, then the protection function has a different meaning. During transportation, the product or the package should not get distorted, and while stacking, the compressive force that the bottommost carton is having, it should not exceed a particular limit. Otherwise, you will end up with the burst of the package. So the factors related to transportation, like the impact resistance due to sudden brakes by the truck drivers and others. So all these have to be taken care when we talk about protection function. Now, when we talk about communication function, we all know that the systems now are different. Earlier, we used to visit the retail market or the wholesale markets and get the features of a particular packaged product. Now the world is moving towards the supermarkets and mall kind of things, and also towards the e-retailing. So there is no person who can explain the features of a particular product. So everything has to be printed on the principal display panel or the other panels of the package. So the communication function is becoming more and more important. In absence of a retailer, the entire package should behave as a silent salesman, talking about its own features all the time. More so is the requirement of the legislation or the legal requirements. With the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India giving more and more emphasis on the regulations, you might have come across the FSSR 2011, the Food Safety and Standards Packaging and Labeling Regulations was divided into two different regulations. One exclusively focusing on packaging in 2018, and the other one focusing on labeling and display in 2020 November. And midway, there was another important regulation related to advertisements and claims in 2019. So if you look at the history, PFA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, was looking after everything, but there were several other agencies, and so there was a need to unite all those laws, and FSSAI has come into limelight or into picture. Now FSSAI in 2011 has released the guideline or the regulations in terms of FSSR 2011. It was only a single one. Now you look at the emphasis given. Now we have three different regulations, all related to the packaging and the labeling aspects. And if you are not aware, then you are not, or you have not understood the importance of packaging with regard to the regulations, regulatory requirements in this country. So communication function is becoming more important now. Convenience functions. When we talk about convenience functions, it is not just a simple lever or the handling mechanism that is provided. It is even beyond that. Convenience in terms of the torque required to open a particular closure, and the opening of the closure by children, it will be different, the force required or the torque required, and also the geriatric population, it will be different. Now here the principles of ergonomics are coming and playing a greater role. Principles of ergonomics means the design aspects of the packaging. You might have seen there will be several oil cans, 5 liters or 2-liter cans in the market. Everyone has a different design to hold it or to contain it, right? So while holding, you feel a difference from one package to the other package. That means there a sense of design or a concept of design has went into its structural formation so that you feel that convenience. So such kind of convenient functions are more and more in the developed nations now, especially Germany, where the geriatric population is more compared to India. Now, when we talk about the recent functions or the advancements in terms of the functions of packaging, when a function is talking about the advanced level of protection, we are actually talking about the active packaging. So active packaging is nothing but a step beyond the protection function, where all the active principles that are involved are actually helping in extending the shelf life of the food product. While intelligent packaging, as it is an advanced function of communication, wherever you apply one or the other intelligent technique or tool, you are actually talking about the communication function. That means it may not have the role. 99.99%, it may not have a role in extending the shelf life like active packaging, but only communicates the status of the product, like the time temperature indicators. It extends or it displays the status of the food product in the cold chain or in the distribution channel. The RFID tag, it helps in distribution networks for real-time the material management or for real-time inventory management. Now, with regard to the QR codes or the freshness indicators, they give or inform the information related to the, for example, if it is QR code, instead of a barcode, it gives more information. And if it is a freshness indicator, it gives a real-time quality status and complements or supplements the expiry date which is printed on the package. So these are the basic functions as well as the advanced functions of packaging. Now, in this segment, when you talk about intelligent packaging, there are several things that are being discussed, and product development aspects are currently going on in R&D labs. All the intelligent packaging systems can be divided into sensors, and it could be a simple biosensor integrated with a package or a gas sensor integrated with a package, right? Or it could be specific gas sensors like oxygen sensors or so on and so forth. There could be a kind of overlapping with indicators and sensors. And in terms of indicators also, you find that oxygen indicators or carbon dioxide indicators are also present, which is a mere overlap sometimes. And in terms of indicators, the most popular ones are the time temperature indicators, which could be a partial history indicators or full time temperature indicators. But these are very important tools for supply chain aspects. Now there are more and more new concepts are coming in terms of pathogen indicators. What kind of pathogen is or could be present inside the pack of a particular nature. So such kind of more and more R&D is being done, and we will come to know about some of these developments when we discuss about intelligent packaging systems. Now, freshness indicators, another important area where the advent or the innovation that the New Zealand scientists have brought about by introducing the ripe sense kind of indicator for monitoring the ripeness of several fruits, but starting with mango. So this particular freshness indicators now are being developed for several animal-based products, but most importantly for fish and meat products. But now during the last 5 years, if you look at the literature, a number of freshness indicators have been developed for fruits and vegetables, With regard to dairy products, I can just say that it's a just beginning, and only one or two research publications you can find with regard to freshness indicators for dairy products, right? So a lot of work is being carried out here, and there are a number of data carriers here. When we say data carriers, they are just used as an intelligent tools to extend the information or communicate the package related information. And now I need to add one more block here. A new concept of blockchain technology is coming in intelligent packaging systems, which is again a kind of a fingerprint kind of technology, which was earlier used in Bitcoin and other kind of money transfer technologies. Now here they are using the same concept in packaging also. So these are the new things that are coming up in intelligent packaging systems. Just to give you an idea how a freshness indicator works, we will discuss and talk about these indicators in detail in the coming classes. But you can see whenever a product is placed in any package, it emanates a number of volatile gases. And in this case, here the TVBN, that means total volatile basic nitrogen, which is a kind of volatile marker for several of the fish and marine samples. So they are emanated and they are present in the headspace of the package. So the headspace gases, when they get accumulated, they interact with a kind of indicator that is present on the package. You can see here the fresh indicator is yellow in color, but when the time passes and the more and more amount of total volatile basic nitrogen is accumulated in the headspace, the color is changed from slight green to dark green, and this kind of change in the indicator color due to accumulation of key volatile markers is the principle of freshness indicator. A number of freshness indicators are being developed, as I just mentioned. This is just to give you an idea. This is the ripe sense indicator that I was talking about. So here on the package, the real-time indicator or sensor will be present, which will interact with the internal atmosphere of the pack and will tell us what exactly is the shelf life or the shelf life or the maturity of a particular product. So it will be clearly displayed on the label, and as per the information, a consumer can read whether it is ripe, mature enough, or it is overripe, or which is really leading towards senescence. Now there is another segment which is coming with regard to the package labels, and one of the concept is towards smart labels. But just to give you an idea what the conventional packaging labels are, the conventional packaging labels, when we say, they are talking about the display of information or for selling as a selling tool, or for printing everything on the label, for maybe consume the legal aspects or for information aspect, right? So there are several types of labels. You can see that a conventional food package label is a kind of material where you can read the brand, the instructions, whatever is suggested as per the legal regulations. Now they could be classified as glue applied paper labels, most commonly used for glass bottles, or self adhesive labels where this kind of peel and paste kind of self adhesive labels are commonly used, but as per FSSR, for price and other information, you cannot use such kind of tags because the label should be tamper proof and it should be indelible. So this kind of systems are not used for price and other information, but still we use it for several other purposes. Wraparound labels or shrink sleeve labels is another kind of label, and the common ones which are cut and stack labels, where a large print is, a big roll of printed material is used and then it is cut and pasted then and there in an industry. Now, but the recent developments are with regard to the smart or intelligent labels. where they have an ability to track the product, to sense the environment where exactly they are present, and also inform the people in the supply chain or all the stakeholders, maybe manufacturer, the retailer, distributor, right? Even the consumer. So an on-package sensor or indicator which has the ability to track the product, sense the environment either inside or outside, and inform the people in the supply chain regarding the condition of the food product is called as a smart label. Now, what exactly they do? They provide the information on the integrity and temperature time history. So TTIs, time temperature indicators, can be considered as intelligent labels here. And they also talk about the integrity of the pack. Now, why are they being used? They are most prominently used in assuring the quality and safety of the packaged products. And mostly they communicate directly to the consumer via visual changes. Most of these intelligent labels, what we are currently using or which are about to be used in several of the sectors, are the visual colorimetric indicators. So the principle of their working either could be chemical based or biochemical and also microbial. So it could be any, so biosensor based, right? And just to give you an idea, they could be direct labels or indirect labels. Indirect labels are pasted over the package and it senses the external environment, while the direct labels, they are placed inside the product or package and they sense the internal atmosphere. Let us look at this illustration. Now, we will consider that this is a food product and it is surrounded with a packaging material or a primary package, and there is a scope for some amount of headspace. Now, during the storage at whatever the temperatures they are intended to be stored, you find that they emanate a number of volatile gases, right? Now, these volatile gases or the considered, we can think of the particular volatile marker or gases and then classify them depending on the food material into different quality markers. They could be total volatile basic nitrogen in the case of fish I have just talked about, or the carbon dioxide where due to storage continuously CO2 is generated by the action of microorganisms or for due to some other reasons, like in case of coffee packaging where due to the Maillard reaction and other related reactions during storage, CO2 is continuously released. Amines, it could be biogenic amines, ammonia, ethyl alcohol, hydrogen sulfide, or it could be even pH changes in the headspace. So all these can be considered as quality markers. And when we talk about the direct smart label, they are actually placed inside the pack, but the color change due to the accumulation and integration is visible to the external environment. Whereas the indirect smart labels, they don't have anything to do with the internal product atmosphere, but mostly they are placed on the external surface of the package, and they sense the external environment, the temperature, the humidity, right? So they could be RFID tags, they could be the what we call time temperature indicator tags, etc., which gives a real-time information about the products in terms of the inventory management or in terms of the quality status. So this gives an idea about what these smart labels are. So the time temperature indicator, some of the recent and very useful the examples. There's the RipeSense indicator, what I have shown a couple of slides earlier. And there's a time temperature indicator with the commercial name Checkpoint. You can see the internal orange color and information for the consumer is written over here. Do not use when the dot is orange or red. So initially it will be of some other color, and when the color gets changed to orange or red, the consumer is warned not to pick the pack from the shelf. Now there are other kind of external tags or intelligent tools where it is a common practice in supermarkets where there are no CCTVs and others. A consumer who is not very conscious about what he is doing, or a mischievous customer, sometimes they do open the pack and leave it aside, and leading to a lot of wastage and loss. So the seal tags are now used in a particular shelf, the supermarkets or malls, to look at the anti-counterfeiting aspects, or in the form of anti-counterfeiting label. So the moment it is tampered, a signal will be sent through the RFID tag, which is on the label, to the shopkeeper or the distribution owner or channels. So people will come to know which package at which particular point, and then they can look at the other aspects of who has tampered the seal. Now, this is a very recent example of the 3D printing technology being used to develop a smart cap, where these kind of aseptic cartons are integrated with the intelligent caps, where the color of the cap will change depending on the pH of the milk. When the pH of the milk is getting decreased, or the acidity is getting increased, the color of the cap changes. So the cap is in direct contact with the bottommost layer of the milk, which doesn't have any internal integration, and the internal pack is safe, or it is not exposed to the external environment. So such kind of patented technology is being used to develop this milk spoilage detecting cap. And one thing is clear, that they have used 3D printing technology to develop this cap, and similarly other kind of freshness indicators. So a lot of smart or intelligent packaging things are going on in the market, and you can see that now the smartphones are increasingly being integrated, or the packages are being integrated, the freshness indicators or the QR codes, with the processed and packaged foods. So food packaging waste reduction is an important aspect of the packaging, and hence the entire world is focusing on what and where we can use a packaging system, either in the entire supply chain, maybe at the production aspect, or during the processing at the farm, or during the industrial processing, or even at the consumer's end. So the packaging material, in other words, when I said that the food waste in the pyramid, I've shown you the FW, food waste or the packaging waste, all those things are related here. So we extend the, we use packaging systems to protect the product, to extend the shelf life, and even the control portions, the convenient option to reduce the volume where and when it is required, such quantity can be packed and sold. So this is another aspect of food packaging. This is a common figure. In next about 5 minutes, I'll end this class looking at the time. In one of the other important aspect, or the requirement or the development, is related to the biodegradable packaging, because of the presence of plastics as a major contributor in the municipal solid waste. And we all know that there are several strategies to address this issue. One of the most commonly used technique is to dump the land with or the landfills with packaging materials, especially the plastics, but it is one of the least favored option, because we are ultimately avoiding the water percolation, or we are preventing the increase in the water table, or we are helping in increasing in the water table by putting these plastics, which doesn't allow water to get percolated into the soil. The most preferred option is the prevention of plastics, but we all know that our day starts with plastics and ends with plastics. So as of now, the alternates are, if they are available, they are very costly, or there are no alternatives. So we have to depend on this. So the best use is to use at a reduced this thing. That is, we can minimize the usage of plastics wherever possible, or we can reuse the plastic containers. by buying refills and filling the containers, which we already have, or going for recycling. But the current FSSR norms doesn't allow use of recycled plastics for direct food contact. Hence, all those secondary packages, we can think of recycled materials. If we don't have any other thing, then we have an option of burning the plastics to recover the energy. But that is again the one of the least favored options. Why it is important? We all know that a number of this is a 2018 one, but you in the recent 2019 and 20 also you might have seen a couple of publications in newspapers where a cow belly was surgically removed, and they found that about 5 kgs of plastic was inside the belly of a cow in Agra and other places, right? So this kind of concerns are there. So there is an increased interest in single-use plastics. If we can ban such kind of single-use plastics, you see, there is a United Nations Environment Protection Agency which have defined the single-use plastics as those plastics which are commonly used for packaging and included items to be used only once before they are thrown away or recycled. There could be the inserts like this, the straws, single-use pouches, disposable dinnerware, or disposable thermoformed containers or trays, the polythene or the carry bags of 40 microns or less, several other options, right? And the common plastics what we use in food industry, like maybe LDPE or HDPE, even the polystyrene or expanded polystyrene, the PET or PP, all have one or other end use as a single-use plastic. So serious concern for all of us too. Just to give you an idea where they end up, most of the plastics, according to this again same agency, according to them, the plastics, most of the plastics, nearly 80% end up in landfills. This is a serious concern. And if we want to have a sustainable world, I mean the sustainable agricultural practices and meet the SDG goals, then we should minimize this landfill and increase the recycling and other kind of aspects. Right. So some of the solutions are available for eco-friendly packaging, but these are very, very minor ones, but we need really a bigger ones. And we are waiting for several of the R&D labs to come out and give solutions for such kind of things. Everyone knows these are the common things what you find in the market today. But one thing, challenges are really, looks like impossible, but the world's first paper-based bottle for beer packaging has really given a motivation for everyone who are working in the area of packaging to think of the glass bottles. The beer packaged in glass bottles are replaced by fully paper and paper based bottle. And world's largest or biggest beer manufacturer, Carlsberg, has invested several rupees or dollars in terms of developing this innovation, and they are now successful in bringing out 100% paper-based bottle. So they are now trying to focus it on the other areas of their units, right? So there are several alternatives which we'll talk about these alternatives in the coming classes, just to give you an idea. But the PLA is one such alternative biodegradable material which has seen some commercial success. We'll talk about this materials while we discuss about the biodegradable materials. So a lot of agricultural byproducts can be used, but their applications are limited because their properties are not at par with most of the plastic materials. So several of the agriculture-based materials have been used as foamed trays to replace HIPS, etc. Right, because of the pure mechanical properties. Nanoparticles are being used. This is another area of technology that is coming up in the form of nanocomposite packaging materials. This again will deal in detail, just to give you a glimpse of idea that nanoparticles are being used either to increase the mechanical properties or to provide active functions or to provide intelligent functions. So used in active packaging or in intelligent packaging systems, right? So this is, I mean, not a technology which is only read in books, but the nano composites are already in market. If you can see this example from Brazil, where they have used silver nanoparticles, but across the world, the concerns over nanoparticles are limiting every one of us to push the nanoparticles and their applications, packaging applications into market. So we'll come to know more about this in the coming classes, right? So aseptic packaging is another area. So edible films and coatings is another area which we'll talk in detail and discuss about this in the classes. There are several applications. We'll really discuss about what are the film formats, what are the plasticizers, how a film is made, and how these kind of films and coatings are being developed, and where exactly they are used, and other applications of edible films and coatings, especially in reducing the oil uptake in fried foods. So these were the concepts that I wanted to brief about and then discuss in this class before I actually talk about the plastics in detail. So if you have any particular doubt or query, you are open to ask before we end this session today. Any particular question from any one of you?
Sir, what is 3D printing packaging?
Yeah, it's a good question. 3D printing is nothing but, if you understand what is printing, we use a printer and come out with printed material on a white page, right? So it's a two-dimensional printing. So you don't get containers printed out of it. But in a 3D printer, if you give the command of printing a particular cup, for example, so it uses the material and gives you a cup in a three-dimensional form. So that means it gives a real-time cup to you, printed out of it, as if it is coming out of a mold. So printing in 3 dimensions. Right?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Sir, is there any intelligent package being developed for the traditional Indian dairy products right now in market?
Aditya, it's a really good question. And at present, there are no freshness indicators or intelligent packaging systems which are currently used in the market. But yes, from NDRI, we have developed the freshness indicators for Sandesh and also for Khova. And there is another product, the milk cereal based complementary food. So the technologies are with us, and when appropriate time comes or the industry wants to pick it up from us, then you can see it in the market too. Yes, we are in pipeline of the advancements across the globe. We are working on indigenous or traditional dairy products, and currently an MTech student is working on development of such freshness indicator for dahi.
Okay, sir. Nice. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So any other query?
No. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Mamta.
Yeah. Sir, what is the working mechanism of smart cap, which detects this milk spoilage?
See, it's really a 3D kind of printing technology where they have used some amount of milk at the bottom while it is getting packed. So like microbial or enzyme based time temperature indicators, while aseptic carton filling itself, they take a small portion of the milk and fill it as separately at the bottom of the carton. So they have a different device or setup, and that is connected with the cap. So due to some capillary action, the milk reaches to the cap, and whenever the
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If there are no more questions, we'll end this session here and we'll connect back on the Saturday, the next class, isn't it? Saturday is our next class. So
Yes,
I'll start with the plastics and we'll discuss plastic materials in detail so that we can move towards the others. As per the syllabus, we need to discuss the packaging material properties, but most of the things what we need to understand here is primarily the plastics. So we'll talk about plastics in detail, but I'll give you 2 review papers which we have written and which got published last year, one on paper and the other one on metal, so that it is for self-learning, and during the next class or the succeeding classes, we can discuss if you have anything to ask from that particular review papers. So it's a kind of self-learning material for you all. Hope it is agreeable and useful for you so that we can reduce the class session time to discuss new concepts rather than what you can read on your own. Done?
okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll post both the articles at MS Teams itself so that you can download it from there.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much and see you in the next class.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.